on the breeze. Is it a red-tailed hawk? Is what my question is. Damn it. He doesn't want us. Ooh, look at that cloud. Ma, it's really something out here right now. Oh my goodness. That is wild. Do you, Ma, do you see that cloud over there? No, right, come here. Stand up. Do you see that cloud over there? It's all the layers. It's called a luminous cloud. Here, have a sit down. It looks like a layered. It looks like fluffy pastry. I got you. Like layered pastry. What are those clouds called? They're called. Right, close the damn camera. What is happening right now? The layered clouds. They're over Mount Shasta a lot. They used to be over Mount Shasta a lot. Layered. I used like cumulonimbus. We learned clouds in the 6th grade in Mr. Franklin's class. Yeah, at when we lived. I went to Flamson in Paso Robles. There was like 3 schools, 4 schools that I only went to school at the school for like a couple months. That was the year we moved around so much to be closer to brother. And we ended up getting a road on a house on Farrow Lane. Remember that with that weird lady, our roommate that had the what was her name? She had this. She was the Christian Bible thumper lady. She had like her sons were Burl and Solomon, and they were like 5 and 7, and I had the misfortune of listening to her explain to her kids the birds and the bees. That was awful. The places I've been able, I've, no, no. That's such a weird thing to say to somebody. It's always the weird J names. And so, yeah, we live right down the street when brother went to go live with father. They lived on Capitol. Jerry would walk past the house every day, or every school day, because his high school was past us. I was not allowed to attend any of his football games. That's when he started hating us. It was weird. So we're outside getting some fresh air. I got this the other day. If you get stressed out, sometimes I recommend this. This is like my new favorite thing right now. It's fun. Mom likes it too, because I had kind of a weird PTSD thing happen today that I'd never experienced before. It was new. And I think it's because like I realized what the date was. It's March 24th, and 23 years ago, I was on Crete when we did Iraq real dirty. And we're doing the same dirty stuff. Like, we're living in the same cycle, so the same Nepo frickin' frat boys get all the advantages. And it pains me because they make these weapons of destruction that cause great harm to human beings, because most of these people, they have no soul. When you're at the point that you're creating a war to test things that cause harm to people, you're beyond humanity. You've lost your humanity. When you're willing to let people die so people can make money for their generations in the future, and that's what they're doing now. They're making deals privately, so when they're not presidents anymore, like BT Biff Jr., he's set for life. And I just think every American boy and girl should be set for life, like even the poor kids in Taos, New Mexico. They deserve advantages too. I'm so tired of seeing these headlines. New Mexico gets $11 million here and $8 million here, and they spend a million. And I keep track of all these numbers, and it never trickles down to the bottom. It never trickles down. It doesn't ever like they should be given. Nobody should have to pay for anything like utilities. At this point, the fact that we are paying for utilities in 2026 with all of the last year, the United States government spent 4 billion with a B on male enhancement drugs. That means there's a lot of men that are their bodies are disconnected from their mind and their spirit, and they cannot be virile of and by themselves anymore. There's a lot of men out there that are projecting what they see as masculinity on the TV from the machismos that they've watched from like Steve McQueen, Rockford Files, Godfather, Casino, you know, The Sopranos, all this might is right. If you don't like what somebody has to say, just fucking end them shit. And so like these people that my generation and up, they all grew up with like this program from Hollywood. Wars wouldn't exist if people wouldn't have had ideas about it, because reality is based on perception. So they Hollywood made wars movies. Hollywood made MASH, and now look at all the dummies and Jeep Rubicons, $90,000. Heaps of creeps drive Jeeps because of MASH, because of sentiment, because da na 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 na. I gotta go get me a Jeep. That's like MK Ultra in my mind. People got bamboozled. Capitalism. You gotta buy this. You gotta have that. I was in the military, and I worked in like hospitals, and I worked in corporate America, where a lot of people had God complexes. A lot of God complexes. A lot of God complexes. Ooh, that was cool. It bounced off this. Ooh, that looks neat. Booyah! Now I'm getting my screen all wet. Stop screwing around, Marge. You're gonna break shit. If I had a square foot for every time I heard that. Fucking Marge. It's a super pretty day. Ma, you like it out here today?
Yeah.
She's got her little old lady butt cushion and everything. So I had this weird PTSD thing happen today. Everything was fine. I was having a good day. Things are things are moving in the right direction in a lot of ways. And I scroll past this TikTok, and it was an old clip. It's like the background music, and then it's an old clip of the Wonder Years. And I grew up watching the Wonder Years. And there's this character that went off to Vietnam, homeboy's older brother, and he came back, and he wasn't the same anymore. Like when I got back, I wasn't. I changed. My changes started later, a little bit later, when I started putting the pieces together that Washington D.C. and Hollywood, they're like extensions of each other, and they get the same budgets to make people believe in realities that don't exist. Like when you watch old movies and then you hear these old dumb dudes in like $5,000, $10,000 suits in Hollywood, talking about how we should sacrifice more of us ourselves as Americans. It's like pretty sure people are spread pretty thin. A lot of places, people are spread thin, huh, Ma? We were spread pretty thin. Like 5 of the last 7. We got to when we moved in here, this place, April 2 years ago, Sun City, Florida. I don't know. I don't think she does. I guess I don't know. I don't know much. Anyway, and so it was this TikTok with this scene from Wonder Years, And he was sitting in there in his boxer drawers on this bench. Just completely because once you're a part of something so massive that causes so much harm, I forever am gonna wonder how come they can't put at least that much effort into helping people. And they're always taken from people so they can blow more shit up. And then spend billions of dollars on Viagra. And so, this kid's sitting on the bench in his boxer drawers. And Kevin's older brother comes out. And he's like, you know, your clothes are on the ground, dude. And he's like, yeah, nothing seems to fit anymore. And I remember watching that show when I was a kid. And now I know exactly the headspace of what that kid feels like. And then it's the same loop, like where I live in Taos. This is the 5th year where they have the barn dance and where they start blocking off the fence and charging admission to a park that should always be free. And then I have to shake it off and let it go and not get too upset about stuff. Because when I get upset, like, shit starts getting glitchy. So keep it nice and light, you know. I mean, it was already bad enough to be apart. And then, because I was just at work, right, when I was on Crete, when we did all that stuff. And then it wasn't until, like, I don't know, in the last 6 months, I looked up Operation Iraqi Freedom. And my part of it, like, the part of where I was is not even listed in history. It's not even in. It doesn't talk about Sudabay Crete's role in it at all. And that was where every airplane, every helicopter, every Marine passed through and launched from there. And it doesn't. And I was there 20th March. I got there the night before. Like, get a good night's sleep. Got to show up for work tomorrow. Okay, this is cool. I'm on Crete. I'm on Crete where the freaking gods and mythology where they lived, you know. Dun, 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 dun. And then today I found out, or I looked, I think I saw it before, but like they declared Bad Dad on my birthday. I was on Crete for my birthday. That I spent my Saturn return on the island of Crete at war. My Aries sun. That's bizarre to me. And then my Pisces is in Venus. So I think about where the gods were with me, though. They helped me see the truth about all the world's a stage. And poli sci is not much far off from William Shakespeare, really. No. Legal jargon, if you think about it. It's all just a different kind of speech, just a different kind. I was in maintenance. We talked in one kind of ways, in one kind of jargon. I grew up with freaking heck all the rhymey shit. I didn't really like Dr. Seuss much, and I found out who he was later. But I liked Shel Silverstein and stuff like that. So I'm all about the word whimsy. At the hands of Victory okay, so toppling. And Saddam Hussein is a fictional character. Like, that is another contrived reality that they just fed America. And America ate it up. Ate it up. Just like they eat up, like, anything you give them. It's a gluttonous thing. It's a frequency thing. It's a louche thing. What do you see, Ma? You see something? Ma, you having a hard day? You having a good day? You having an up day? You having a down day? You having an all over day? So, invasions, United States, United Kingdom, Iraqi freeze, like these are all the what do they call it, belligerents. But where's Greece? Where's Greece? Where's their flag? Because we were on Greece. We were on Crete. I got pictures to prove it. It was so weird to be like in a tourist spot and go to work during the day. But I had days off because I was aged, and usually were the grunts. But the crew chiefs got the short end of the stick that time. They had to work 39 days straight. We'd work 4 days on, 3 days off because we had people that came from Turkey. I was supposed to go to Turkey, then they diverted me to Crete because Turkey wasn't letting people in and or out. And so my teammate from Offit was coming from Turkey, and then they had permanent party and they had guardsmen everywhere that they were the age. They traveled from guard bases in like San Bernardino, California, stuff like that, you know. And then what they would do is they would fly over. Look at the bird small. Speaking of fly over, they would fly over into hazardous duty airspace, and then they would do it. They did it for March. They went like at like 11:30 on the last March 31st. I never remember how many days or when where. Uh, the last day of the month, they fly over into hazardous airspace for like 45 minutes. Clock turns over to the new month. They so that's 2 months. They're collecting hazardous duty pay, tax free on their pay. They're getting, it's like cha-ching, 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 and there's all these single parents and you know, trying to feed their kids in America. Like, America's a third world country now because of all the bullshit that we did, and people are all gung ho, America, bomb, freedom, democracy, and it's just like, thou shalt not kill. You people are idiots. I'm surrounded by idiots with guns, and they're gung ho. They're trigger happy because they got triggers, and you know, like, listen. Whenever I come out, I hear people's triggers. They all got the zoomies in northern New Mexico. Go meditate. Don't kill nobody because you can't slow your ass down because you a machismo. Because you're mad because that girl don't like you, or you got an STD because she do. I don't know what they're mad about. I don't know why people race around. So it says Iraqi security forces killed 17,690, wounded 40 plus. Coalition killed, so how many? 9 died in captivity. And I remember that bullshit with that girl with the blisters on her feet. Like, dude, that's when I started really, like, after 9/11 and being in the military and working next to these people, it's a wonder that it took as long as it did for people to lose their ability to do smart people jobs. One person was on duty at LaGuardia, and an airplane hit, like, an airplane hit a fire truck. That's just dumb. I feel so bad for the air traffic controller. That's poor management. That's such bad leadership. Was there a half day? Was there a pizza party at lunch and then everybody went out for beers after and then couldn't go back to work because they're all a bunch of lushy losers? Is that how it's supposed to go down? Like, people don't work. Where I live, they play a lot. They play so much. People travel so far and so wide to play where I live just to create a hindrance. Like, I think about all the people with Texas, Utah, freaking Colorado, California, Arizona plates. I'm like, dude, I promise I will never go to where you live and just take up space. for no real good reason, because that's what the whole tourism industry is. I'm gonna just go around here and there and dither here, thither, makes me yawn, and just create more consumption. Mom, what do you keep singing? The breeze. Is this what you see? You see that? Yeah. The coffee. So I was 39 days. Okay. So evidently total dead 27,163, total wounded 117,961. I'm sorry for my service. I got duped too. I totally believed in this country. Well, not totally. That's not. I don't totally believe in anything. It's part of my Hayokadom. I'm a contrarian. I go back and forth. I live on both sides of my brain, left and right, masculine and feminine, positive, negative. It's fun. So, you like the breeze, Ma? You want it? You want out of the sun? Yeah. Let me, if you stand up for a second, let me move your chair over and that will put you in the shade. Here. Step forward about a step and a half. Perfect. Good. Here you go. Here, sit by this bush. Sit right here. The sun is going down. Have a sit down. I got you. I got you. You're not going to fall, honestly. You got it? Oh. Don't stick yourself on this tree. It's so soft. Oh, somebody else got the zoomies. I'm so tired of motorcycles. What? Jessica died on a motorcycle. And I hear people race. I'm just like, dude, you guys are a heartbreak waiting to happen, man. I remember the first time. Remember when we were doing laundry on Lake Boulevard in Redding? Mm-hmm. Next to that food and gas liquor store? F&L, mm-hmm. Right? We were doing laundry. Thank goodness God did not let me see the impact. I heard it though, and that was freaking enough. Dude was on a bike racing northbound on Lake Boulevard, like 70 miles an hour. A vehicle with towing a boat was pulling out. Wow. No, it was pulling into the gas station. From the inside lane. So he was coming across the lane that the guy was going 70 miles an hour. He came around the corner and hit the boat on the trailer and knocked the boat 45 degrees. Like turned the boat like sideways on the trailer that on impact. He was a goner. I was like 11, 12. That was right behind where Shane Eckelberger lived. Yeah. So I don't mess. I wanted to mess with motorcycles, but I don't like getting hurt. I'm so clumsy as it is. I fall down. I still have rocks in my knees from when we lived on Manzanita Lane, and we'd have contests in the gravel behind the vacuum cleaner store. They had like that big open parking lot, and they always had a bunch of gravel there because sometimes people would park on the side. And me and the other kids would slide our bikes sideways to see who could have, and then we'd like do the footstep thing to measure who had the longest drag mark. Remember that weird kid Curtis that lived up the street? Curtis Rhodes, I think was. I think he's went to prison for killing somebody. He got all junkied out. He got all geed out, and they just got somebody off the road, and just did them in. And more people are doing that now. They're doing people in just because they're curious, or it's because they play video games, so they're so disconnected from their spirit. Those clouds are hella dope. I ain't turning around though, because I ain't gonna dox myself. I'm not gonna show the whole world where I live. I ain't no dummy. Where is that? Yeah, Mom. As soon as we're this close to hitting the road again and adventures with Ma. We're this close. It's so close, Ma. Fresh air, sunshine. It's good for everybody. I should go see if Luna's at the door. I'll be right back.
She's cute. She's happy. Margie?
What's up, Mom? What do you see? You see me?
Yeah.
Did you say my name?
No.
Yeah, you did.
Your name.
This is I got some really cool, I'm going to do a lot of stuff with this. Okay, so this is my next thing I want to do. I get all these ideas. I love entertaining, and when people are entertained and having a good time and joking and stuff like that, right? Like it's laughter is the best medicine. It says so in Reader's Digest, right? So I want to do like pop-up dance parties and make playlists of any place from 45 minutes to an hour. And I bring out my big old huge speaker, and I bring my microphone, so people, it pop up karaoke, and I got the bubble machine, and my speaker lights up, so it's like, and then I'll like maybe pick a restaurant in town to support local, and then like have them cater for, I don't know, 30 people. See how many people you get to show up if you offer them free food from a local restaurant. You get people to gather. I want to do it at the Gorge Bridge. I hate that bridge. That bridge is... But I want to bless and release any animosity, because it's a death portal is what it is. And so I want to help bring praise to the tormented spirits that have passed, and bring a joyful place, because there's, whenever some harm comes to a being, one of God's creatures, or whatever, however you want to say it, they're like, that land is scorched. So whenever we do terrible things in places we don't want, that's a lot of blood. And whenever money's profited and made from sacrificing people, that's blood money. And so people don't, so I want people to gather in joyful occasions and celebrate their lives while they're here. Because life is so short, and I think people are starting to realize how fragile it really is.
It is.
Luna, you coming, girl? So pretty. Come on, honey bear. She's getting old, Ma. She's getting old. I miss the boys. This is my first spring without my dogs. We spent since 2010.
That's right.
So yeah, it's weird. So different. It's like, because I'd never had kids, but I take care of a mom. She's like taking care of a kid. We're in the butt wiping years. That's interesting. It's like I don't have kids to ease that, you know, to heal that inner child in me. So I get to. She had a worse childhood than I did. Shit, she was born thrown into an orphanage from Cuesta, New Mexico. The lady in the picture that I'm gonna change the thumbnail to. I made the thumbnail about it earlier, and that's your mom. Mom, that's my grandma. My grandma Cisneros, Crecelia Cisneros from Cuesta. And it's so weird because I see my face in her, so I can't hate her. She like had like 19, like mom came from a family where like there was 19 kids total, and she, you know, and she was born, I don't know if she was breech and they pulled her out by her feet, but her feet were fucked up. And they said she had club feet, but I think it's more about mutilation and pulling out with clamps than and not being careful and crushing bones than, oh, you know. A lot of that shit's imposed because guys don't care, and then they get to practice fixing them, like cutting on her like she's a pig. Because they've been cutting on her my whole life. Oh, Luna, you want back in? She says, yes, I'm not in about it. Can't remember what I was talking about. Thanks, Ma. I took a speech class. You know what the best thing I learned about the speech class I took? When I took a speech class at Offutt Air Force Base. The best thing I learned in speech class. I also was in AA and did a speech of my life and all of the stupid things I did when I was a lushy drunk. For 13 years, all this goofy. It's amazing I'm still here stuff. So I'm good at. I'd like to think I'm good at public speaking. It's my 29 degrees in Gemini in my 12th house. We're chatty catties, and I think chatty catties, meow meow. I think the moon is in Gemini too, or something like that. That's what that guy said. Plus coffee, and I had a chill day after a stressful day. No, today was pretty okay, minus that little weird inflection. But you know what I did? I came out and I took my shoes off, and I just gave all of the energy that was in me, whatever I was feeling, because I didn't want to put fear on it, remorse, regret, whatever. And I just said, you know, I'm sorry, Earth. I'll try and make it better wherever I go. I'll just try to be a more positive in the world for being a part of so much negative.
Look at the dog.
Where?
Over there.
Which one?
It's a kid. It was a cat.
Okay.
Over, and it was a little cat.
Ma, your eyes are better than mine. You see things oftentimes that I don't see. And you're like a little kid, how they see things that I can't see, but I see things that you don't see either. You know what I mean? We just have different sensitivities. Mom and I had a talk today. I said, Mom, one day you're going to leave me, and I'm going to miss you, or one day I'm going to leave you, whichever, but we're going to be separated. That's going to be a real hard day for me, Ma. I said, you going to warn me? So you're going to give me some warning, Ma? Because I have a feeling that you're going to know. I think the dogs are going to come get you. I think that, you know, like, you're going to have a really grand welcoming on the other side, because this earth was such a shitty place to your mom. But I tried to make up. I went and looked in my ancestry apps today, and in one app I did both of them. In one side, ancestry.com, I have or 23, I don't remember which. I have like 23, I have 1,500 relatives. I have like 60 pages of people that like are my family that don't even care that mom exists, because they know she's here. But I guess they don't want her cutting in on the quest of fucking fortune. Because there's such a fortune. I guess the giants are up there though. So mom, maybe you got the giant blood in you ancestrally, because her ancestors have been here since like the 1400s. You know, it's wild. DNA, genetics is magnetics. That's how we ended up back in Taos. So when I say the land of the stupid cousin, it's because I'm surrounded by hundreds of my cousins. Well, I'm literally related to like half the town. I'm not even kidding. Albuquerque, everywhere. And it's weird, the stuff like I heard stories my whole life and I didn't realize they took place in this state. Like I get like when you look up that Isaac Cappy guy, whether he's a Rothschild, whatever storyline you get, I live in a all things possible multi-universe. I don't believe in one universe. I believe in a different perception of a universe for every being that can perceive on this earthly plane. And they lie about pollution, about population numbers too. They allocate themselves funds. I think they allocate themselves funds and include the 800,000 people that go missing in the United States every single year and have since the 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s. People just are always disappearing. And they don't have people that care to go look. We find there's more crime solved now because regular people are going back and figuring shit out. It's not because no sheriff or policeman ever went and lifted a freaking ounce of life force energy to exude themselves on anything but their fraternal order of butt stuff. Because it's a club and we pay for their parties and their pizza and their $150,000 freaking decked out geared trucks so that they can hunt us down like they used to hunt the Iraqis down and shoot them up and laugh about it. When you're in the military, you get really weird inner office mail. That shit, like when I was around though, that shit wouldn't fly. That's why I only did 6 years, because the military was so far beneath my own personal standards. And like I saw dudes freaking hitting bunnies with a pressure washer and wall that were trapped in walls. Like I saw dudes like, what, like, are you like a 5-year-old boy and your mom told you have the golden wiener, so you're just gonna forever take your diaper off and smear it on whatever wall you're around? Like these guys are just, and women too, I mean, they're just as fallible. We're just all fallible. Just so I'm just tired of the exceptional fallible, of the horrible deplorables. The people that don't have regard for themselves, so they put other people at risk. That's what I consider a horrible deplorable. And evidently around here, it's okay they can. Because that's my nephew. It's okay they can because that's my primo. It's okay they can because who they are. And that shit never flied with me. That stuff never. I don't care who people are. I care about what people do with what they are, who they are, whatever. Like in Taos, you can't even get a smile from people. There's hate themselves so much. It's like a game. Hi, how you doing? What's up? I guess I gotta work on. I'm too white. See, I'm half white. I'm mixed. I'm one of those mixed. I'm white. I'm the colonial, privileged, advantaged Freemason lizard blood. That's my dad's side. Then I got mom's indigenous giant little lady blood. Only small in stature blood. Made me this little frequency of nature. Which no one can deny. I do get ignored a lot though. People go through a great lengths to ignore me. Oh, bummer. One more.
There's one in there.
Are you getting hungry, Mom? What do you think we should do for something for dinner? We have salmon. We did chicken. We did a nice protein-filled lunch. I just don't like when people drive fast and kick up dust. I find it rude. I go so slow on dirt roads, especially if it hasn't rained in a while. People stole my weed plants from this backyard. I want to make my own sign. So if people do that, I can put a sign, like I can make a big old banner that says, with the guy's picture, because I know who did it, and be like, don't hire this guy. He'll find your weed and steal it. Born and raised, Taco Town, Taos, USA. I don't make people steal. They just do it of and by themselves, and I talk about what they do, and there's all kinds of thievery and that low vibey shit. That's what the Taos hum is. The Taos hum. People talk about a low vibrational hum. I said that's because it's the born and raised vibe. It's in every town. It's everywhere. It's in Redding, California, Paso Robles, Atascadero. It's all over the place. We're just gonna keep doing what we always done, cause that's what we always did. Omaha, Nebraska, Newman Grove, Nebraska, Valentine, Nebraska, Eureka, California, San Bernardino, California, Los Angeles, California.
The blue is really pretty.
You like it out here? We got a nice sky. I just feel like we live in a planetarium, like the one in Redding. I remember some dude named Frank broke that shit on a field trip. He was such a pick me girl. Huh? Pick me. He just did stupid stuff that it's like play the tape through, dude. He made one of those little. He took a paper clip and unfolded it and then refolded it just right into a triangle, and it makes like it hop. If you hit it just right, it'll leap. And that dumbass did that at the planetarium. That shit. Look, they got the zoomies. It's the land of the Zunies. Speed up, slow down. Speed up, slow down.
The yellow.
Cracks me up. People in their new stupid trucks. Dude, I would not buy a vehicle that has been made in the last 8 years. When have 3D printers gotten real popular? Since 3D printers, because that's exactly when they started making 3D printer parts for new vehicles. And all you need is a couple hot days, or cold mornings, and then hot days, and that breaks down the integrity of your plastic. And then you get bumped and your like front end freaking shatters. I mean, it's just, but people are cool and they think the newest is the best, but you don't got smart people that are putting this stuff together to begin with. They don't have practical senses. Engineers don't talk to the people that draw the storyboards. Don't talk to the people that make the parts to put it together. And not a lot of people do a lot of production from start to finish. Like, I've known people that were shoe cobblers. That was a cool racket. That chick had a good gig. Like, she figured out how to live she want with like well, she still worked hard though. She's an Aries, I think, first maybe, I don't care. Anyway, but she went to Arizona. There's some school in Arizona, and she learned how to be a shoe cobbler, how to make shoes from scratch. And which I've always been fascinated with, like producing products to make people mobility and comfort of life, ease of life, because of mom's upbringing and stuff. And so and I knew a guy that would made prosthetics. A chick I went to high school with, her mom dated a dude. Remember that guy? We went to Santa Cruz, Brian. He had the airplane and we flew over Santa Cruz. Here, drink some of this. I don't have no water. It's warm. It's not hot. It's just coffee. Here. Wet your whistle with that. You like that? A little creamer. So, I got to go to Brian's shop and he showed me how like he made shoes and braces and stuff like that to help people walk. And then mom, you went on a date with the one guy and I went along. I was 11, so I was too young to leave alone. And I didn't like anybody you wanted to leave me with. So, and that guy like worked with people like with mobility issues and cognitive function issues too. And they had like a place where they swam and did physical therapy and like dexterity and range, but for fun. So like I've been studying this like quality of life. It's my Cancer rising. My whole life because I've been taking care of you, so I got to learn about the body to know what you need, like with your toe thing, you know. Like I couldn't figure out your toe fungus thing, and then through just figuring, education and shit, it's from your gut. And mom has problems with her gut because she had like 6 inches of her intent. She's been cut on so many times. And that's like, ugh, poor ma. All I can do is make sure you're comfortable for the rest of your days. You know it? Like, but I was there with you. I skipped school. She was in the hospital when she had that prolapse rectum. I was at Nova, and I would skip school and then run run all the way to the RMC, the hospital where mom was, and we'd watch like something that was on whenever I'd get there, like Golden Girls, and I'd crawl into the bed with you. I always get in the bed with you whenever you're, and Ma, are you comfortable? You like sitting like this? How about like this? You like this? You like that? Right? And the doctors, I was always the only one that would show up for her, so the doctors would explain to me what was going on. So I never had a childhood. I grew up very, very young, very young. That's why I like this, like bubble guns and shit like that, because I didn't get to play with stuff like that, because I was listening to the doctors, a 5-year-old girl, 15-year-old girl, explaining like, oh yeah, lots of women in your mom's. This happens to a lot of people in your mom's age group. It's from being sodomized when they were a young child. And I was like, why is that a fact that you think that? Learn your room. I'm like, but that's how I will learn weird shit, because people tell me weird shit because I'm a Scorpio moon. So evidently I ooze tell me all the weird stuff you got, because I've collected a lot of weird stuff my whole life. Dust. You ready to go in, Mom? Come on. See? That's just rude. Just keep the dust out here. Let the dust settle for a second, okay? Alright? If you get a face full of dust, you're gonna have boogers I'm gonna have to pick later. Alright, let me wrap this up. It's a beautiful evening until the dust and stuff, so anyway. I'm starting to get traction on my I'm sorry for my service stuff. Because I'm going to keep trying to be the best person I can be to make up for all of the damage I was a part of being. So, we had a pretty good day today, though, okay, all in all.
Fresh air.
Fresh air, nice and light.
Yeah.
I still don't know what we're going to do about dinner, but I guess I'll figure it out. That's about all I got for now. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you have a rad day. Peace.